I'm not going to teach it that way. Each one of these questions that's in A8 gives you a slope and a point. Isn't there a form that has the word point, slope in it? What's that form? Point slope form. So I'm going to teach you using point slope form. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You guys recall point slope form? You must. You remember the name. Y minus y1 equal to m x1. And you should know what the pieces are. You know, x1 and y1. What are they? Just a given point? And m would be your what? Slope. So you're given a point, you're given a slope, or maybe you're given 2 points and you can find the slope. Of course, the first ones you do are really, really easy. Like they give you a slope of 1. I mean, they're not even trying to confuse you. But, you know, just think back to last year. Just label your x1 and y1, and then you plug into it. And some kids make sign mistakes, but all you do is you change your signs. Instead of having y plus 7, you have y minus 7. Slope is 1, x minus 10. Now, if you don't know what to do, IXL will teach this using y equals mx plus b. And you'll get the right answer. You will. I don't really care how you do it. But point slope form is actually heavily involved in a calculus class. We use it quite a bit in that class. So it would be best if you use point slope form. Now, we're going to distribute the 1. What's 1 times x minus 10? X minus 10. So y minus 7 is x minus 10. They do want the answer in slope-intercept form. So what do we have to do? Add 7. We have to isolate y. Negative 10 plus 7 minus 3. There's that. So you guys have all seen point slope form. Savannah, you came from Westview, right? Did you do point slope form in Westview? Don't remember? It's all right. It's a typical teenage answer. Here we have one. It has a slope of 0. It passes through the point 8, 8. What is its equation in slope-intercept form? Now, you can use the same formula we just used. And then I'll talk about it, what you really should do on questions like these. But, you know, if you don't realize that, you don't realize that. So somebody give me the setup. Y minus what? 8. And you really can't screw that one up, can you? No. Equal to m, which is 0 times x minus 8. That is a 0, not a 6. Monica, what is the entire right-hand side going to become? No, it is not. It's 0. You guys know that. If you multiply anything by 0, what do you get? You get 0. And you got to show that 0. Kind of need it there as a placeholder. And one step and it's done. Add 8. Now, I've always done questions like this conceptually. I haven't ever used a formula. But when I see slope of 0, I know it's a horizontal line. Because I remember full well that horizontal lines have a slope of 0. And I know that this point 8, 8 exists. And if it's a horizontal line, then it has to pass through that point. You know, that's kind of what I picture in my head. Doesn't it have to be y equals 8? Now, do you have to do it conceptually? No. There's a formula. So use a formula. All right, we'll do one more together, and then I'm going to let you all do one. Here we're given 2 points, and our task is to find the equation of the line. So I'm given 2 points. What can I find between 2 points? Slope. Of course, you have to have a formula for that. What is the formula for slope? and we'll plug in our numbers. I've always worked left to right. And that's the way most people are instructed, left to right. So -7 minus 3, sitting over a -9 minus another 9. -7 take away 3 shall be -10. A -9 take away another 9 shall be -18. And you do simplify. Always simplify. It's going to be positive. It's a negative over a negative. What's 10/18 reduced to? Positive 5/9. Negative over a negative shall be positive. Positive 5/9. And now it's time to use point slope form. Does it matter which point you use? No, it doesn't. It really does not. Really does not matter. Which point do you guys want to use? First or second? Yeah, the one with positive numbers. Oddly enough, the negative numbers might have been easier. Because what do you do in the formula? Don't you take away a -2? Not that it matters. So y minus what? 3 equal to 5/9 of x take away what? 9. We're using this point up here, kids. And then we'll kick in the old distributive property. 5/9 of x is still 5/9 of x. What's 5/9 of a -9? -5 is correct because the 9's cancel when you distribute there. 9 over 9 is 1. Add 3 and she shall be done. What is y equal to? -2. 5/9 of x take away 2. So I've done 3 of them with y'all. This is going to be the end of A8. All y'all got to do is the last one from A8. I'm going to put that right back there, but if you're caught up, go ahead and start on that last problem. That's a good answer so far. Everybody got it. Negative 1/20th of x plus 20. I guess for Emily and Sean, if you are watching this video, I'm not going to walk you through it, but you should have gotten negative 1/20th of x plus 20. And that covers it for A8. So now we do A10, average rate of change. Anybody know what average rate of change is? All right, average rate of change is nothing more than the slope between 2 points. That's all it is. Slope applies only to lines, so slope is only for lines. But real life functions often look kind of funny, like they might do things like this. They go up, they go down, they go all around. But if you were to connect 2 points together, you could draw a line. And that would represent the average rate of change over that interval of time. So this is the average rate of change. And that's all it is. It's slope between 2 points. So guess what? It has a formula. What's its formula? If average rate of change is a slope between 2 points, what is its formula? I'm going to take the mask off because you must not be hearing me. If average rate of change is the slope between 2 points, what is its formula? Yes, same old formula. I'm pretty sure I made you memorize that on your formula quizzes last year. Exactly like that. So, you can still call it M, because that's what it is. Because you're thinking about a straight line being drawn on something that's not necessarily linear. Still the same formula. I guess y'all are just shy. Anyways, that's all we really need to know about average rate of change. Now, Excel does things a little bit different. It throws kids off with the wording they use. But here we're given a function f of x is x squared, and we're asked to find the average rate of change over the interval 4, 7. If you think about x squared, normally you couldn't say that that thing has slope because it's not a what? It's not a line. But now, when it talks about 4 and 7, what it's doing is it's talking about x values 4 and 7. Okay? These are x values. What you could do is you could connect those 2 points, and you can form the line, and you can find the slope. So all these problems are really doing is they're giving you 2 x values. Well, the formula for slope, the denominator is x minus x. You have that part of the formula. You need the top. You need the y's, okay? Now, there's a good chance if you do, I'm almost certain this is how IXL would teach this. You don't have to do it because I think it's confusing to some kids, but IXL, if you miss a question, is going to say that average rate of change is f of b minus f of a over b minus a. That's all they're going to say it is. When you use function notation, isn't f y? So all you're doing is you're finding y values. So that's how I've always taught it. No point introducing function notation when you really don't need it. But that's what, if you're missing stuff on IXL, that's what they're going to do. Don't let it confuse you. That's how it probably should be taught. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to find some y values. we have an x value of 4. We're going to plug it in and find f of 4. The original equation was x squared, so we're going to take that 4 and square it. What are we going to get? 16. We also need to find f of 7, which is just found by squaring that 7, getting 49. Now what you've done is you have created two ordered pairs. You plugged a 4 in, and what was returned? 16. You plugged a 7 in, and what was returned? You have a set of ordered pairs, kids. So what can you find with a set of ordered pairs? Slope. That's really all there is to it. Slope is 49 minus 16 over 7 minus 4. 49 minus 16 is what? 33. 7 minus 4 is 3. And we get 11. What that means is, on average, over the course of that interval, as you move to the right one, you gain 11. On average. It's an average technique. Now, as you do IXL, really as hard as it gets is they just introduce things like radicals and fractions. It's really as hard as it gets. Okay? I'm not expecting you to spend a half an hour of your life figuring out some of this stuff by hand. Really not. But most of the stuff you can actually just do the initial plug in. We got a 15 and an 8. Here's our function. G of 15 would happen when I plug in a 15. I plug it in the bottom. So I have 12 sitting over 15 minus 1. And I don't care if you reduce the fraction or not. I really don't. What is 15 minus 1? 12 fourteenths. Now if I was doing this by hand, I would say 6/7. Because that's what it reduces to. I also need to find G of 18. That's 12 over 18 minus 1. That's 12/17. Now what order of pairs did I just create? 15 and 6/7 is one of them, that's right. What's the other one? 18 and 12/7. And me personally, well actually I lie. 12/17, thank you. I probably would not leave much of a paper trail on a problem like this. I just screwed it up trying to. But the numerator is 12/17 minus 6/7. The denominator is 18 minus 15. I mean, I'd probably do it in my head, but you don't have to. Of course, you guys like to use your little phone calculators. But I happen to have a TI-84 in front of me, so that's what I'm going to use. 12/17 minus 6/7 is that. What's the denominator going to be? 3. You know, everybody should be able to figure out the denominator is 3. Now, IXL gives you a couple of choices here. You may write as an integer, which that means a whole number, a fraction, or a decimal rounded to the nearest tenth. Simplify any fractions. It's actually harder to do this lesson properly than it is by rounding. Okay? You know, if I'm using a TI-84, how do I convert that thing into a fraction? Math, enter, enter. And IXL would accept that. Okay? Now, some kids just can't round for the life of themselves. It will also accept an answer rounded to the nearest tenth, which means you could have stopped right here as long as you can round. What's that negative 0.05 round to the nearest tenth? I can't hear you. 1/10, negative 1/10. It'll take either one of those two answers. It doesn't really care. If it was me, it'd be that one. It's not me. Why the nearest tenth? Who does that? But whatevs. Last one. And I'll just work this one out with you. Find the average rate of change for g of x being negative 8 roots of x over the following interval 2 and 6. And you really don't have to do a lot here. I mean, can you take the square root of 2 or the square root of 6? This thing is entirely a calculator problem. Might even be easier just to use what it says up top, f of b minus f of a over b minus a, but I mean, there's no side calculations you can really do. But g of 6 would be negative 8 roots of 6. G of 2 would be negative 8 roots of 2. And your ordered pair here was 6 and negative 8 roots of 6 and 2 and negative 8 roots of 2. Now you want to find your slope. You'd have negative 8 roots of 2 minus 8 roots of 6 over 6 minus 2. Is there anybody in this room who can do negative 8 roots of 2 minus 8 roots of 6 in your head? Huh? I thought it was a 6. No, I worked left to right. Did I not? No, you're right. I screwed it up. Thank you. I was looking up here instead of down there. But can anybody in this room do negative 8 roots of 2, take away 8 roots of 6? No, probably only 1 or 2 people in the whole world who can do it in their head. So, that's what this technology is for. Do your phones actually have the radical buttons on them? Maybe if you turn it sideways and go into scientific mode, they do. I don't know. If I want a calculator, I grab a calculator. But that's the numerator. What's the denominator? Negative 4. Now, is that going to convert to a fraction? Something with radicals, what are the odds that it converts to a fraction? They're almost non-existent, kids. Round that thing to the nearest tenth. What is it? 7.7. And that is A8 and A10. You still got 20 minutes of class, so use it wisely. Because I'm not planning on having a work day tomorrow. We'll get probably a work day this week, but it won't be tomorrow. I guess if you're in this class Thursday, you'll probably have a work day, because that's going to be a messed up day. You will have girls basketball, 6th period. I know that. I also suspect you'll have 7th, but I really don't know.